A paralyzed CEO was forced to cancel her son's birthday cake. Then a single dad did the unthinkable. The bakery fell silent the moment the woman in the wheelchair lowered her eyes and quietly pushed the birthday cake menu away. Her young son stood beside her, trying to smile despite the disappointment filling his eyes. The cashier looked uncomfortable. Other customers pretended not to notice. But one exhausted single father, standing in line with only a loaf of bread and a carton of milk, witnessed everything. And what he did next would change 4 lives forever. Before we continue this emotional story, if you believe kindness still exists, that second chances can change lives, and that one good deed can create miracles, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Bright Heart. Your support helps us bring more heart-touching stories that inspire hope. Melissa Carter had once been the kind of CEO whose name appeared on magazine covers. She had built one of the fastest-growing technology companies in the country through years of determination, sleepless nights, and sacrifices most people never saw. Employees admired her confidence, investors trusted her judgment, and competitors respected her intelligence. To the outside world, she seemed unstoppable. Then one rainy evening changed everything. A devastating highway accident left Melissa permanently paralyzed from the waist down. Recovery was long and painful, but the physical injuries were only part of her suffering. During months of rehabilitation, competitors attacked her company. Investors withdrew support. Trusted executives abandoned her. Projects failed one after another, and the empire she had spent nearly 2 decades building slowly crumbled. Within a year, Melissa was no longer celebrated as a powerful CEO. Newspapers stopped calling. Friends became strangers. The luxurious lifestyle disappeared piece by piece as medical bills consumed nearly everything she had saved. Only one person remained beside her every single day, her 8-year-old son, Ethan. Ethan never complained about moving into a smaller apartment. He never complained about selling their beautiful house or giving away most of his toys. Every evening, he helped his mother prepare dinner, pushed her wheelchair whenever the sidewalks became difficult, and reminded her that she was still the strongest person he knew. Melissa smiled for him every day. But when she was alone, she cried. His birthday was only 3 days away. For months she had secretly saved enough money to buy him a simple strawberry birthday cake from the neighborhood bakery. It wasn't expensive, but after paying rent, medication, therapy sessions, and groceries, even a small celebration became a luxury. That morning, another medical bill arrived unexpectedly. She counted every note inside her purse again and again. There wasn't enough. Still hoping for a miracle, she rolled into the bakery with Ethan beside her. When she quietly asked whether the bakery could hold the cake until next week, the young cashier apologized kindly. Company policy required payment before pickup. Melissa nodded politely. She looked at the beautiful cake one final time. Then she whispered that she had to cancel the order. Ethan forced a brave smile. "It's okay, Mom," he said softly. "We can celebrate next year." Those simple words shattered her heart far more than the accident ever had. Standing several feet behind them was Daniel Brooks. Daniel was 38 years old, a widowed single father raising his 10-year-old daughter Lily. 2 years earlier, cancer had taken his wife, leaving him to balance parenting while working 2 jobs. Money was always tight. Every purchase required careful planning. That afternoon, he had entered the bakery with exactly enough money to buy groceries for the next few days. He heard Ethan's quiet words. He looked at his wallet. Then he looked at the cake. Without thinking twice, Daniel stepped forward. He asked the cashier to ring up the birthday cake and add it to his bill. The cashier looked surprised. Melissa immediately tried to refuse. Daniel smiled gently and simply said that every child deserved a birthday. No child should learn disappointment before blowing out birthday candles. Melissa's eyes filled with tears. She had spent her entire career making billion-dollar business decisions, yet she couldn't find words for the kindness of a complete stranger. Daniel picked up the cake himself, carried it carefully outside, and helped Ethan place it safely on Melissa's lap. As they prepared to leave, Ethan suddenly hugged Daniel tightly. It wasn't planned. It wasn't polite. It was simply the hug of a little boy whose faith and kindness had just been restored. Daniel walked away without asking for anything in return. He never asked Melissa's name. He never expected to see them again. Life continued. Weeks passed. Melissa kept searching for work, but many companies quietly rejected her because of her disability. Others questioned whether she could still lead effectively from a wheelchair. Rejection became routine. One afternoon, while volunteering at a community center that offered free technology classes for disadvantaged children, Melissa noticed a familiar face helping several kids repair donated computers. It was Daniel. He had just finished a 12-hour shift at a warehouse, but still spent every Saturday teaching children without accepting a single rupee. Melissa watched quietly from across the room. She learned that Daniel donated blood regularly, delivered groceries to elderly neighbors, and volunteered whenever he had spare time. No cameras followed him, no awards recognized him. He simply believed kindness was something people should do without expecting applause. Over the following months, their paths crossed more frequently. Lily and Ethan became close friends almost immediately. Daniel never treated Melissa with pity. Instead, he treated her with respect. Whenever sidewalks became difficult, he offered help naturally without making her feel helpless. Whenever Ethan needed someone to play soccer with, Daniel became the energetic father figure who kicked the ball for hours while laughing like a child himself. For the first time since the accident, Melissa laughed without pretending. One evening, Melissa received unexpected news. A former client who had always respected her leadership invited her to become the chief executive of a struggling nonprofit technology company dedicated to providing affordable educational software to public schools. The salary was modest, the challenges were enormous, but it gave Melissa something priceless: purpose. She accepted immediately. Her experience, resilience, and determination slowly transformed the struggling organization. Within 2 years, the nonprofit expanded nationwide, helping thousands of children gain access to better education. Success returned, not through wealth or fame, but through meaningful impact. Melissa never forgot the bakery, nor the stranger who had bought a birthday cake. At the company's annual appreciation ceremony, Melissa invited every employee, volunteer, donor, and community partner. Daniel attended only because Ethan insisted. Halfway through the evening, Melissa stepped onto the stage. Instead of speaking about business achievements, she told the audience about the darkest day of her life. She described sitting in a wheelchair, unable to buy a simple birthday cake for her son. She described a single father with almost nothing who quietly paid for it anyway. Many guests wiped away tears. Then Melissa called Daniel's name. The audience stood and applauded before he even reached the stage. Melissa explained that her company had created a new position overseeing national community outreach and volunteer programs. She believed no resume could match a heart that naturally served others. The position belonged to Daniel if he wanted it. It offered better pay, regular hours, health care benefits, and enough stability to spend evenings with Lily instead of working 2 exhausting jobs. Daniel couldn't speak. His daughter cried openly. Ethan smiled wider than anyone else in the room. The man who had once spent his last grocery money on a stranger's birthday cake had unknowingly invested in something far greater than he ever imagined. He had invested in hope. Years later, photographs from Ethan's birthdays filled Melissa's home. Every single birthday cake held one candle placed separately. It wasn't for age. It represented one extraordinary act of kindness that had changed their lives forever. Visitors often asked about the extra candle. Melissa always answered with the same words. It reminds us that miracles rarely arrive wearing expensive clothes. Sometimes they walk into a bakery carrying nothing more than a loaf of bread, a carton of milk, and a heart willing to help someone else. The greatest wealth people can possess is not found in bank accounts, luxury homes, or successful careers. It is found in the quiet moments when they choose compassion over convenience and generosity over comfort. Special request. Before this story ends, tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were standing in that bakery that day? If this story touched your heart, reminded you that kindness is never wasted, or inspired you to believe in second chances again, please like this video, leave your thoughts in the comments, share it with your family and friends, and subscribe to Bright Heart. Your support allows us to continue sharing emotional stories that bring hope, compassion, and humanity to people around the world. Because sometimes, the smallest act of kindness becomes the biggest miracle in someone else's life.